the leadership who was in the federation, there have been also 4 historical actions. The first one was the creation of the WFNS Foundation by Professor Majid Sami as soon as he became the president of the federation in 1997. The manufacturing of set of instrument, microscope, and other equipment to be donated to the neurosurgeons working in countries with low economical income. The third action was to support this candidature of Marrakesh to have the first World Congress in Africa. And you remember maybe that during the promotion of this Congress, we were during 5 years always reminding the WFNS to our original request to encourage us to develop a local training in order to bridge the gap between neurosurgery, either between developed world and Africa, but also between North and South Africa. And this was the fourth action of the federation, the creation, the accreditation of first regional center to train African neurosurgeons in their continent in 2002, the WFNS Rabat Training Center. Many of you have already spoken on, and we are here very proud to celebrate the 20th anniversary of this center. And you see here the signature of cooperation agreement in Marrakesh in 2005, which was, I think, the most important step in this program, because it was something which became not only an arrangement between people, but an arrangement between institutions, and of course, which is the basis of the sustaination, the basis to sustain this program and to make it working until today. You see the missions of this center, which were mentioned in the agreement, the basic training and the continual medical training and this continual medical education. Of course, a part of this is this course we are organizing this time. And since its creation, you see that this center has a great chance to be supported by many institutions. You see on the right side the international institutions who are supporting it. And you see on above and down and on the left side all the Moroccan institutions who are supporting this center. Of course, thanks to this support, this center has a great and very successful results based on first the basic training. And you see here that until now, in 20 years, we had 82 young neurosurgeons which were enrolled in the center, coming from 21 sub-Saharan African countries. And you see here the different countries, the 21 countries, and the number of this young neurosurgeon. You see that there are many countries where the number of neurosurgeon is more than 5, 6, 7, even more than 10 in some places, like in Republic Democratic of Congo. And you see here 2 new countries who are added since last year and this year, Somalia and Djibouti. Among these trainees, 54 have already finished, and they are back to their country, and they are all, of course, working. They are doing their best to improve neurosurgery. All of them, they have got their diploma after, of course, succeeding in their final exam after 5 years. This is their university diploma, and this is a certificate, special certificate, who is given to them by the WFNS. And you see that there are until now 18 other young colleagues who are under training in 9 departments of neurosurgery between Rabat, Casablanca, Marrakesh, and Fez. And you see here the distribution of this young doctors in neurosurgeons in almost all sub-Saharan Africa. Really, neurosurgery is being improved or is being implanted in many countries where there were absolutely no neurosurgeons. This slide is very important because we try to have information about the first 15 who were back home, and you see that almost all of them, they get position in their hospitals or in their universities. Just last week, I was calling one of them in Benin, asking him if he's coming to this meeting, and he has given me one very exciting and interesting information. He told me that he's preparing his exam to become professor at the university, and he has given me the name of two others, one in Mali, I think, and one in Togo, who are almost also preparing their exam. So this is really more shows that this regional training is the real way to develop neurosurgery. And here you see that almost all of them, they succeed also to have the minimum equipment, the basic equipment, which some colleagues remember that many of our European colleagues were saying that, you know, it's maybe not so interesting or not fair to train a young neurosurgeon from country where there is no resources, and maybe when he will be back, he will not have the possibility to have the material to work. This is absolutely not true. The people, when they are back, when they are dedicated, they succeed to find the equipment, and you see that this is they're working all of them in that way. I am very happy to show you this picture, which is dated from 2018 at the occasion of the last meeting in Rabat. This a group of this trainees who are already back home, they created the Rabat alumni neurosurgeons, African neurosurgeons, which was already, I think, said or announced by a colleague, Abay Abd Samad al-Wahabi. Now, regarding the continuing medical education, you know, I think everything about these courses which were organized before, and about this one, the 13th one, who is organized today. This slide is very, very important, because when the WFNS has witnessed the success of this center in Rabat, they did their best to duplicate this center. And you see that very soon in 2010, they created the center in Dakar. In 2014, they created two other centers, one in Algiers, one in Nairobi, in Kenya. And in 2018, I think it's correct date, my dear Kazadi, the one in Zimbabwe, directed by our colleague Kazadi. So just I want to remind and to point out that when you have witnessed the success of the WFNS Rabat Center, and just you can imagine, I hope, the same success in all these regional centers. Just imagine with the national training centers that this is the way to make the number of neurosurgeons improving in Africa, and this is the way also to make neurosurgery evolving in our continent. I totally agree, and I have my total recognition to our colleagues like our friend La Fuente and others who are trying to do their best to come to Africa, to operate patients, to take maybe one or two residents for some months, and so on. This is, of course, help, but the real way to improve neurosurgery is the national training centers and the regional training centers. And I am not telling you something which is unbelievable. This was the way followed by all our colleagues worldwide, and you have here colleagues from different countries, and you can ask them how they did to improve neurosurgery in their countries. Look, this changing in the number of national training center, in Africa. And this is the optimism. And this is the future of African neurosurgery. In 1998, when we performed this survey, we had just 5 African countries with a national training center. We made this second survey in 2016, and you see the number is 21. Among them, 15 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. I am sure our colleagues who are here from these countries from 2016 to today, the number maybe had increased already to at least 30 training national centers. And you see here also the changes. You know these slides in 2016, the changes in the number of neurosurgeons in all Africa. We moved from 79 neurosurgeon in 1998 in sub-Saharan Africa. We moved to 369 neurosurgeon in 2016. And of course, taking in consideration, we are here in this session of global neurosurgery. And this global neurosurgery program came out after the recommendation of the WHO, I think in 2015 or 2016, remarking and pointing out to all the ministries of health worldwide that there are some specialties who are in great delay. And among these specialties, of course, was neurosurgery. So this recommendation was endorsed by the WFNS, and now everyone is trying to speak how to improve neurosurgery from now to 2030. And I would like to show you this slide because you see, if you apply what we have done between 1998 and 2016, we increased the number of neurosurgeons in Africa 3 times more, and in sub-Saharan Africa, between 4 and 5 times more. If we continue just like that, and if we try to improve, and I am sure it will be improved because you have seen the numbers of national centers in different places, we will have, of course, from now to 2030, we will have in our continent 5,364 neurosurgeons, and then with some improving in the plan, 8,635, which will give us maybe a ratio of 100 one neurosurgeon for 145,000 people, which is really an acceptable evolution of neurosurgery in our continent. So I hope that we can reach these figures, and we can apply what we have planned, and in that way, of course, we will answer the wish of the WHO recommendation, and also which became afterward the objective of the WFNS, and of course the main objective of us, of African neurosurgeons, and this motto of the WFNS, one word, one neurosurgery, can be, of course, applied and can give more balance to the neurosurgery worldwide. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Kamish, for this excellent talk. Now I'm introducing Professor Helabadi, whom everyone knows very well. She's the current president-elect of the WFNS. She's going to talk to us about global neurosurgery, advancement in future, a viewpoint of president-elect. Thank you very much.
Kazadi, for your kind word. And dear colleagues, dear friends, it gives me a great pleasure to be here, and I would like first to congratulate all the organizing committee, especially the president of this Congress, Professor El Wahabi, and all the Moroccan societies with his president, Professor Ben Zegmout, and also Professor Al-Azhari for this great scientific program, and the soldier shadow, as you understand, who did a lot. He's the secretary of the Moroccan Society, is the Professor Yassad Al-Idgheri. So, Professor Khamlichi, is not easy to talk after you, but for the first time you facilitate the task for me, because many of my slides I just skip it, because our future is based on our past. This is very important. So you just emphasize and align many facts and objectives that you and all the officers in WFNS at that time, when the Rabat Reference Center was created, achieved until now. So I will give you my vision in the future. So I have to beginning with the notion of the leadership, because without leadership we cannot go to achieve that we achieve in Morocco and in Africa. Leadership is the overarching umbrella of our communication that contains beneath in many essential components. To begin with, let's start with definition that we can embrace with ease. Leadership is the art of causing others to deliberating create a result that otherwise would not have happened. Simple enough. What follow here is my take on leadership and how this pertains to each and every one of us. Leadership are selfness. What constitute a good leaders? The leader should be socially aware. They must be aware of their environment. In so doing, they must be perpetually empathic by focusing on expressing the fact that they care. Leaders must have a vision and develop strategies to achieve goals. Leaders must have self-direction skills by exhibiting the ability to make decisions and solve problems. Leaders must harbor the ability to motivate others to create results that otherwise would not have happened. Let me again tell this sentence. So, on the other side of the coin, leaders should be selfish. They must be protective of time with family and their own well-being. What all of us must do as leaders, and as I emphasize that we are all leaders, is strike a balance between selfness and selflessness. So leaders have a passion for what they do. Their work is not just a job. It represents, or at least it should be representative of a fire in our belly regarding purpose and the meaning for our life's work. If we can make this, so we will have transformed our job into a vocation, and leaders must never play favorites and must always treat those whom we lead with almost respect. So the skills, what we need, the skills good leaders need. They make decisions that are based on fact and not on a self-promotion. What's right? So leaders need are a strategic thinking, planning how to achieve your vision, and dealing with challenges along the way. They need also to manage people and communicate your vision to others, and listening to ideas and encouraging others to help you to achieve your goals. What place do women hold in leadership? Allow me to start, of course, with the women's. So here in this, to answer that question, it seems to us that developing leadership is crucial. And the pioneers and leaders, female in neurosurgery across the world that you see in this, some of them in this slide and this webinar, as our late sister, Professor Suaid Bakhti, peace in her. The pioneer and leaders female in neurosurgery across the world are not numerous, as you know, and our over 100 are female neurosurgeons. Only few could acquire responsibility position and become leaders, and we are now recognized worldwide. Here you see some colleagues from USA, from Brazil, from Japan with Yuko Kato, from China like Ling Fing, and our friends also. She was the first chief of department in USA 14 years ago, and now there are only four female chief of department in neurosurgery, and the first woman was president of WNS. It was 2 years ago. So, sorry. As I was progressing in the career, I also had the pleasure to contribute as a lecturer with one of my great master, Professor Khamlishi, to train and lead different residents from various countries of Africa. Some of them are present attending this course today. I'm very happy to see them again. And here is the team in our program, as already shown by Professor Khamlishi. So there is still a lot to do, as Professor Jesus Lafuentes tells in his conclusion. The place that women hold in neurosurgery is certainly changing in several parts of Africa. And my election as a president-elect from Africa is one of the proof that the thing is changing. Many governments are now committed to providing equal education for girls, and thereby reducing the existing gender gap. Women are taking charge of public health campaigns in many nations at both local and national levels. There is an increasing number of women in a government position. They are now choosing medical career and being represented in the surgical fields. African women are increasingly able to choose their own course in life. Don't feel guilty about your family responsibility. And as my dear friend Suaid said in one of her talk, you don't have to be a superwoman. You be yourself. There is already enough greatness within you. Fighting for women is fighting for sciences, and therefore so many great minds are silenced by the lack of opportunities. So many groundbreaking ideas are lost in the gender gap. So we laid out a strategy to promote women in neurosurgery, and also to promote those female neurosurgeons to a higher responsibility position, both in organizing and academic neurosurgery. To help address to the lack of women in neurosurgery, we need to follow this four-step strategy. We need to first to identify the barriers, then eliminate discriminatory practice in recruitment. This will allow to promote female neurosurgeons to all the positions they deserve, equally to men, and develop female role model. The current status on African neurosurgery is one of the most frustrating aspects of neurosurgery in the 21st century. African countries, except progress achieved in neurosurgery during the last 50 years.